price of $350.
So you're telling me for $350, I can get in the FC house, I can get 2 sticks of corn.
5 times. You get 10 sticks of corn.
5 times. Or I can get whatever the fuck this water bowl is. Authentic Costa del... Wait, that's Costa de Hielo, which means ice.
Yeah.
This is just an ice bowl.
Bro,
yeah,
you
it was strawberries and shit.
You said what?
You never had shaved ice?
That's not what this is.
No.
It's like knockoff shaved ice, you
This
know?
is a bowl of ice.
You can get a bonfire for $350.
The bonfire is fine. I would do the bonfire. But
That's actually a good bonfire.
I'm not paying $350.
That's actually like, they have a picture of it with characters next to it. That's as tall as your character, Tito.
I might buy. God damn it, they got me. All right, the queue has popped. You know what that means? It's time for the Light Party Podcast, episode 1. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Tito, and I am joined by Mike, Virum, and Warchamp. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just chilling. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Everything's going good.
All right,
Virum?
I'm big chilling. I'm on FF14 right now.
Oh,
true,
shit.
same.
Oh, shit.
That's
Messing
crazy.
around- messing around
Warchamp?
with glamours, you know how it is.
Are you on
Endgame.
the game right now, Warchamp?
I'm on the game right now.
Oh, fuck.
Whoa, shit.
Well, very fitting. Gentlemen, this is our inaugural episode, and, you know, it's only right that we take a very, very baseline approach. Keep it broad. We'll see where this conversation goes. We'll see where this podcast goes. But the first episode addresses one question, and we'll just go around the room real quick. Is Final Fantasy 14 online a good game? Is it a good game? We'll start with Mike.
No, I'm currently uninstalling.
Okay, cool. Virum.
Oh, absolutely not.
Sure. I don't really. I'm kind of undecided. Maybe Warchamp convinced me. What do you think?
Fuck no.
Oh. All right. Well, I guess we'll see you guys. I guess that's it. All right. All right. See you guys next week. Bye.
Now the expansions to Final Fantasy 14 online.
Whoa.
That's a different story.
He said A Realm Reborn fucking sucks. Oh my gosh. That's okay. So this is our inaugural episode. Basically, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna have a question and we'll talk shit. So if you're listening, I appreciate it. Make sure you go ahead and before we get into all the cool stuff, all the discussion, go ahead and make sure if you're not already subscribed to us on Spotify, as well as subscribe to us on YouTube at Light Party Podcast on YouTube, and follow us on X/Twitter at lightparty_pod. But let's talk about it. Is Final Fantasy it's a game we all play, but like, is this game good, or are we all just fucking sick? Like, is this a good game? Like, actually?
Okay, but actually, it is a good game. It's a very good game.
Why?
I don't think I'd be playing this as much as I did if it wasn't a good game.
I can't say that. I play bad games all the time. But
Fair
why?
enough. I just think there's a lot to do in the game, even early on, and like sure, like the story I would say for ARR and some of the content early on, definitely not the most engaging stuff in the world. But there are so many little things to do here and there. You can just kind of get lost in the amount of content the game has right from the jump. And I think that's kind of what happened with me very early on, and then I just kind of rolled with it from there.
Yeah, I had a pretty similar conversation to this earlier today, where my big draw point, I'm a very like story driven individual, and honestly, like a few years back, I never really saw myself playing this game, and when I finally got into it, the story is what hooked me the most. Just how easy it was to get into more than like other MMOs. There's some like we'll take WoW for example because it's the one I used earlier. At least in WoW's current state, they use a like a time skip feature where like your character mainly focuses on one expansion, where Final Fantasy takes you through everything. Like you have to experience everything in the story to get to the end, and I think that just makes for an easier game to get into, at least from a narrative perspective, at least if you're like a more story focused person like I am. And that's kind of what keeps me going.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because 14, I think more than any other MMO I've tried, there's just such a variety of not even just content, but just like things that you can actually like sink your teeth into. It's one thing to have stuff like the glamour system and like the furnishing system and like with housing or whatever, but all of those things that they add to the game, there is just so much to them and like so much time that you can end up investing into those things. It's a common joke that like glamour is the real end game or that housing is the real end game, and it's partially a joke because there is so much to do on that front.
Yeah, but like I mean, and I struggle sometimes. I actually like. I think fundamentally, I'm like I enjoy this game. Obviously, we all enjoy the game, but I do think though that like I struggle to decide whether or not the game is the game as a whole good, or are there really good big chunks? And I'm not sure, mainly because I find myself being like, okay, like how do I separate the time commitment, like the time sink part of it, with the actual quality of the time sink? Because like when you're going through quest to quest, thing to thing, like how much of it is bad? Like how much of it is fucking dog shit? Like how much of like the actual things you do, not counting like the dailies, which are just like MMO things that you do, but like actually no, I take that back. Like are dailies fun to do? Like is the daily, like, you know what I mean? Just like is the day-to-day thing of an MMO a majority enjoyable in conjunction with an expansion, playing through the expansion, the quest to quest shit? Like I have a hard time because I put so much time into the game, kind of parsing out what percentage of it is good versus actually just like not good.
I think it's almost like overthinking it though, and it's almost a deep philosophical question of just like, do you need to enjoy all of a game for a game to be good? Like, can there not be like high points and low points in enjoying a game?
No, that's true. That's true.
I think yes.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll absolutely agree. Like there's definitely some moments in this game that are just absolute dog water. Like you're just like, ugh, this.
Bro,
And
leave Thancred alone, man.
no,
Leave him alone.
oh,
I
he's
unironically
fine.
think that there should be a Thancred mission every expansion now. Just as a meme. Just make it awful. Like
Man, I have some thoughts about current Thancred, but I'm gonna save it for the Dawn Trail episode.
do you yeah, Warchamp, do you remember when Roger of Roger's base fame? Do you remember when Roger was in the Japan Time chat, subscribed to Japan Time, also on Spotify and stuff like that, and shit? Do you remember when he was in the chat complaining and bitching about the Thancred mission, how he couldn't finish it and he was like resetting for like 2 hours?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It was just, and then all you did, Warchamp, was go into the chat and just be like, do this. And he was like, what?
Yeah, and that happens sometimes, but it's just kind of the nature of the beast too. It's like that's one of the biggest things about FF14 is that it is so varied in its content and also like the difficulty level for that content, and that's on purpose. And I think a lot of people get kind of hung up on that, of just like, I'm playing this game, I'm paying $15 a month to play this game, I'm buying the expansions for this game, I want to be able to have fun and enjoy every single piece of it. And the game's just not made that way.
No,
it's not made to be that way. Like Island Sanctuary is not there to be a piece of content that every single person is going to like.
have you touched it?
Yeah, I'm like rank 12 or something in
What
it
the
because
fuck?
I want some of the
gotta-
unlocks.
I don't even know
I
how to
gotta
get
back
to
into
it.
that.
I don't even know how to get to it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know where to go. Like,
There's like a quest in where is it? I think near like Alaport or something.
Something.
It's in
More
Lenosia.
of the dry dock is like where you go to your island.
okay.
I should start doing that more often if we're being real.
Honestly, the only reason there's like 2 or 3 pieces of glam that you get from Island Sanctuary, and that is the only reason why I would ever want to do it.
Are they
Yeah.
fire?
I think they're fire.
Is it like I'm assuming they're like beach adjacent?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, some of them. Some of them are like farming adjacent. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to glam out your fisher, man. God damn it. Fuck.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
What the fuck?
You gotta glam out everything.
You're
Mhm.
it's just another macro because you're gonna have Omni Gatherer gear, and then you're gonna fucking just like you have to like it's just an extra button.
All right, man. I just want my swim trunks, man. My swim trunks,
Alright.
flip flops,
Just
my open button shirt. I'm ready to fish.
there's a whole different conversation about glamour that we can have, but like it's just and we will. But it's like so I guess my follow-up question, because I do think that fundamentally, yes, I do think Final Fantasy 14 is a good game. Like I don't think any of us would play it if we didn't. Not
we
to
wouldn't
say
be
that
doing this podcast if we
correct.
didn't.
That's
Correct.
true.
We wouldn't
Jokes aside.
we wouldn't literally be able to do it. Like literally we wouldn't have enough shit to talk about. But like in the very sparse conversations we've had about future episodes, and by future I mean like we've talked about obviously, because we're not gonna fucking do a podcast and not have like while you are listening to this right now, whoever you are, if you're listening to this, we already have recorded like 5. So like you're good. But like in the very casual conversations in like what topics do we want to talk about, we've come up with like 20 with no thought. We're just off rip. So like clearly there's a breadth of content here. I guess the good and bad part about FF14 as opposed to other MMOs that I've played, I played a shit ton of Guild Wars, where it was like it's so self-curated. The way your experience with Final Fantasy 14 is going to be drastically different from mine if you want it to be.
Yep.
Other than MSQ. Is that I guess is that a good thing?
Very good thing.
I think it depends who you ask, and that's the thing.
Honestly, no, hold on. Even MSQ can be drastically different, because if you're going in with real players every time, your runs of dungeons will vary wildly, and that in and of itself isn't like leads to the sort of characters of different people's playthroughs.
Mike, do you want to talk about? Can you tell them? I don't know if we talk. I might have mentioned this on Japan time, but the fucking thing about when people when you run that one dungeon with the trusts or whatever, when you run it with the scions, how they all fucking get over the Fall Guys mechanic.
Yeah, Meg, I think it is the one with the
Meg.
frog. Don Meg, yeah, Don Meg. You fight the frog bard. Yeah, there's the little like tightrope walking thing, and I've only seen this for a handful of them at this point, but like the twins are drastically different. Alize will sprint like dead sprint through the whole thing. She's just like, all right, whatever, and just zoots.
I think it's so funny. I know she does it. There's no way she does, but it would be so funny if she starts the mechanic and you see the sprint icon appear next to her name. Like that would
actually be really funny.
That'd be so funny.
Alphino will like he'll walk it for about halfway and be like, oh, I get it now, and then just run the rest of it. Reen will not finish. She will slow walk the whole time and get scared. Urianger just cheats. He will teleport across the gap.
Oh, cheating ass bitch!
Yeah, and then Thancred will get to the first turn, and then he'll rough divide across.
I can't even do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. I've tried.
The wall.
But yeah,
sucks.
he'll just right. But yeah, Urianger and Thancred will just cheat it. I haven't seen Stola do it.
You probably could take your
forget.
Stola. You probably could take do you think you could take Graha?
You can take Graha through all of the
Graha probably just walks it like a normie. Like
let's see. There's like a whole list on how like the trust system does this. I read it before.
But to your point, Virum, like if someone's running, like let's say someone starts FF14 right now, right? Like today, they start, they can run the entirety of MSQ and never queue.
Yep.
And that would be drastically different than when like Warchamp and I and you did it. Like, because like, and I think the advantage of having that kind of live, like it being so popular and it being having so much dedicated development time and resources allows shit like that to happen. But at the same time, it reminds you of how dog shit some parts of this game are. Like Mike and I are doing the anima weapons right now. Holy dick on a stick. It is awful. It is the worst grind I've ever done in the whole game. You need upwards of like 15k poetics.
Oof.
Like,
yeah, it's a lot.
You need like because you need 15k poetics. You need to unsync run like 12 dungeons for one step. Like one step, you have to run like 12 dungeons.
Yeah, but the other thing to keep in mind there too is that content is old.
Like that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
like it sucks now, but like it was a product of the era. Like, you know, you look at WoW Classic, you look at like old FF14, like that's just what MMOs were back then. It's easy to look back on like content that's 8-9 years old now and be like, wow, this is so dated. And it's like, well, yeah, it is. Like literally.
So what parts of the game are like even by modern or modern and or like at the time standards, what parts of the game are objectively not good to you?
Like objectively bad?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the old ARR pacing was bad, and you know, they addressed that accordingly. Like that is why a lot of that stuff got updated. I don't know if there's anything I'd call like objectively bad game design. Like I could go for hours about like objectively bad like technical stuff on this game.
I mean that works too. Like that's part of it, right? Like
it's just one of those things where it's like I don't want to judge a game by its like, you know, technical implementation of something, or like, you know, I don't want to say like yeah, like if a game has shit netcode, like it's a bad game. But it's like, you know, if you look at that from the angle of like, but if this didn't have shit netcode, like if the code for this game was good, would it be fun? And I think in a lot of cases for like 14 and a lot of stuff that I play, like the answer is yes.
Sure.
So I don't know. I kind of try to take a look at it like from a more pragmatic standpoint. I know most people don't. It's not really a fun exercise or a worthwhile exercise to do that, and it's just like you're either having fun or you're not.
Yeah.
Doesn't code good, bad, be damned. If you're not enjoying yourself, you're not enjoying yourself.
I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters, right?
Yeah. And so it's like I can. It's kind of about setting expectations. And so,
right.
You know, I have played 14 long enough that I have certain expectations about how things are going to be implemented, and like understanding that when I go into a very old piece of content, it is going to, you know, be designed with older design paradigms and ideas in mind. So it's like, yeah, do anima weapon grinds suck fucking ass and are awful? Yes.
Yes.
But does that mean I hate it? No, because if I'm gonna do an anima weapon, I'm going in like with that understanding. And I have done one, and that was enough for me.
Which one did you do?
I think I did ninja, like
ninja?
most of the way.
I'm doing gun,
and I'm doing the summoner book.
He's doing book. Virum, as someone who's like all like is a dev, like do you especially when games like this, like that's not a fighting game or any like it's not like the games that you've worked on. Can you still like do you still look at it through a dev's lens, or are you
Always.
looking at you can't
I
turn
look
it
at
off,
every
right?
game through a dev
You
lens.
can't turn it off, right?
Nope.
That's me with like technical stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's me looking at like programming.
Yeah, that's me. That's like I can't listen to and Virum, you might also, like I can't listen to tournaments, or like I can't listen to commentary. Like I can't do it. Like I have to watch
Unless
them.
it's incredibly good.
Like no, like I can listen to certain people, Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can listen to Yipes, or I can listen to, Sajam or Tasty Steve, or, I can listen to but like, unless, like, I can't listen to Pools. I can't do it. I can't do it. Like I can listen to you, I can listen to Coney, like, but like, so you can't, so because you can't turn it off, how does that inform your play of the game? Also, by the way,
To be honest, the main
start,
thing that I'm criticizing, or the main thing that I'm looking at
Yeah.
from my perspective, is like art and animation things and how they translate.
Right.
And for the most part, Final Fantasy 14 does that incredibly well.
Correct.
So I have few criticisms. There are certain things that could be like visually polished, such as how the game handles stuff like IK on slopes and things like that. But the game is also fucking huge, so I understand them not tackling those sorts of things.
Was the visual update enough for you? Like, was it
Yeah,
significant?
it was definitely a big deal. I definitely think that the visual update made a huge difference in a lot of places.
Can you guys tell?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Like, is there an area of the game that you can tell more than others?
One that popped out to me actually when I looked at it side to side was the Azim step. I saw like a zoomed out comparison image of the Azim step before and after, and it was actually crazy how much it changed.
I haven't done that. I'm actually scared to look back. Maybe that's why I haven't noticed.
I saw side to side, but not of the step, but of Lakeland, and that was pretty different. Like all the purples and pinks on the backdrop with all the
Maybe
the
I need to do
forest
that.
and stuff.
Maybe
That
I need
was
to see
actually
it side by
pretty neat.
side.
That's the thing to keep in mind, is that you're coming into Dawn Trail where there's no frame of reference. Like, you're only seeing updated graphics a lot of the time.
Mhm.
There's not, I think most people haven't spent a lot of time in old content where they have seen like a before and after, and then even then, how recent was your before? Like,
Yeah.
our mind fills in a lot of missing information.
Yeah.
And so until you have a side by side, it's sometimes hard to tell, because you're going to go into these areas that have been updated and look better, and it's just going to be like, oh yeah, that's like, I remember it looking like that. But then if you go look at it like an old photo or like an old screenshot and do a before and after, like, oh no, it actually looked way worse.
Yeah, I know. Like when the graphics update dropped, X was lit up with side by side shots from cutscenes specifically of characters, of like their outfits, everything. And some characters it was a little difficult to tell, but like most of them, it was a night and day difference.
Yeah, I don't know why, and maybe this says a lot about my personality.
Mhm.
But when you said that, I was like, cutscenes. You know what side by side immediately that came into my head was Raubon losing his arm. I don't know why.
Oh my
I don't
god!
know why. It's but the exact frame I'm talking about is when it's like when everyone's like, oh.
Yeah.
When it's the underlining and everyone when she fucking dies, or like, and he loses his arm and he like goes into a rage. Holy shit. Oh my gosh, that's so, I mean, I think also it's probably good. This is probably actually a good time for us to frame ourselves as well, because I do think a lot of people are going to be coming from our collective, like, Mike, you don't make content, but like Virum and Warchamp and myself, like, people know who, if they know who we are, they know we play the game a lot. But I think also is a good frame of reference to kind of talk about our, like, how long we've been playing, because I do think we have a good reference, like, we have a good reference pool, because I would say Warchamp's been playing for sure the longest.
Maybe on a technicality, we'll see.
Okay, I started playing in the end. I started playing in Heaven's Word patches.
Like before Stormblood was out.
No, sorry, Stormblood patches. Thank you. I was playing in Stormblood patches. That's when I started, like right before Shadowbringers.
I started a little bit before Shadowbringers, so I might be a little bit earlier than you for when I started playing, but
can I look this up? Is this a thing I can look up? I'm sure.
I did not play very much when I first started. Like, I did not get hooked on the game the first time I tried it.
Really?
Yeah. So I had a number of friends who were playing the game. I used to have like a local game store that I would hang out at, and I had a few friends there who would often just be there hanging out. They'd be playing 14, just on some of the systems there, including one of like the store owners. They just had a TV behind the counter. They'd be playing games when they weren't, helping customers, because it was like a local mom and pop style like game store. Like this was people who liked games running a game store. So they were playing 14 a lot. So I wanted to get into it, and I started playing, and I started Thaumaturge, which was not a good idea. I know this now. I did not know this then, but that is a very rough job to start as. And so I was going through some of the early game, and at some point I just I wasn't really enjoying myself. Like I just wasn't really hooked on the game, and so I stopped playing. And at some point I came back to it. I logged in. I was on an MSQ quest to go do the Bowl of Embers. That's how far I got. I was at the first trial, and I went into queue, and it was like 23-minute DPS queue. This was just like the lull of Stormblood.
Right.
So like I logged back into the game, and it was just like, go do Bowl of Embers trial. And we didn't have trusts or duty support or anything like this back then. And I hopped into queue, and it was like 23 minutes, and I sat in it for like 8 minutes. It didn't pop, and I just like canceled it, and I closed the game. And I did not touch it again for a while. And it was because I used to work in like esports broadcast, and just by a complete fluke, I ended up getting hired to work on one of the fan fests. They just needed someone to manage the like taking the in-house production feed and putting it up onto their Twitch channel. Like the whole event is outsourced to like an events company and all that. So just by pure coincidence, I ended up getting involved in doing that. And as a result of that, I ended up, getting to see the Shadowbringers trailer. And it obviously meant nothing to me at the time, because I was at Ifrit in A Realm Reborn.
Right.
But the trailer was just absolutely sick. And I was just like, I need to try that game.
That trailer is fucking nuts.
It is very good.
The Shadowbringers like trailer is insane.
The mid combat job switches were so cool, and I was just like, I need to play this game again. I know I can't do that, but like that's just so cool. I need to try.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna be able to do that. I'm not gonna lie.
I need this game to be given another chance, and so I did, and I stuck with it, and I've just been playing since. So it was around when Shadowbringers got revealed, I guess, is when I've been kind of like playing consistently since.
And that was Shadowbringers released in 2019. Okay, so I lied. I misremembered. So what I did while I was listening, but also while I was listening, I was like, okay, what's the easy way? So I was like, I went to the lodestone and just searched the oldest achievement I had.
Mm-hmm.
And the first the first achievement you get is obviously the one which is mapping. I think it's the mapping the realm one for whatever town you start in. So I got that at 4/4/2020. So that's in Shadowbringers. So I started in Shadowbringers, I guess. That's like well within.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, that's like well within. That's like probably Shadowbringers patches. Like right? Surely,
almost
right?
Certainly.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
Let's see, what's my oldest?
Now, I will say okay. So this character, yes, I did have an older character on a different account that started before this. But I don't use that kind of so that's okay. Now I remember. That, Mike, as you know, is the world famous Chico Sidewalker. Like that's
Chico
the
Sidewalker.
Chico Sidewalker is the actual Chico Sidewalker is actually my main. That's Tito Streetborn, which is my wall, is the alt.
That's crazy.
Isn't that fucking insane? No, I do remember this. You know why I remember this? Because I fucking played. So I remember what I did. Let me go back. Let me go back. Holy shit. Switch characters.
Crazy.
I'm thinking because I remember going through Shadow Walker's cutscenes as Chico Sidewalker.
I mean, it's Shadow Walkers.
Man, shit, Shadow,
Shadow
Walkers.
Walkers. I went through the fucking Dark Sprinters.
Dark Sprinters.
I also think it's I don't know what was it like when they announced Endwalker where they were like memeing about like just creating other names for expansions and they were just like combining two words. It was like a string of memes. It was like Lightfaller. Like Final Fantasy 14 Lightfaller.
That would go hard though.
Lightfaller would be fun. Lightfaller would be fun. But yeah, if you go on your
Tito.
lodestone and look at whatever your
My
Get your oldest achievements, yeah.
My oldest achievement was for completing 10 unique quests. It wasn't even a mapping the realm. It was just doing quests. That's mad funny.
Did you find yours, Virum?
Yeah. So I already know I started. I'm a relative baby to the game. I
Yeah,
started
you're relatively
in
recent.
April 2022 is when I started.
Oh,
So
I got you
started
beat.
Oh yeah, Mike has you beat.
I got you
Damn.
beat. Yeah.
Mike cracked out on the game.
March 29th, 23
Wow.
is my earliest achievement.
Okay,
Yeah,
can you okay, so wait, so March whatever, right? March. Can you look on your achievements and see when you get the Endwalker quest? The achievement for Endwalker? Because that will say how long it took you to catch up to MSQ.
Oh, I can't search achievements. I think.
Well, you have the game.
No, I know.
In the game, can you search by like does it tell you the date?
Give me a few minutes.
I'm looking on the
and I'll
lodestone, that's
actually-
why. But Virum.
I don't know if lodestone tells you.
Well, since we're going, so you started in when?
April 2022.
Okay, so it's Warchamp, then me, probably, then Virum, then Mike. Virum, I don't remember. Were you playing the game when where you could get Cape Westwind as a main
No.
scenario? Damn it,
No.
Warchamp, the days.
Oh, yeah.
The days of the greatest roulette high roll of all time. There was no better feeling than queuing for, because you can get in main scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
you could queue for main scenario and be done with it, get the full rewards in less than 15 seconds.
And whole ass community just committed to the bit.
It's
They're just like, oh no, we're screwed. This is the hardest fight in the
yeah,
game.
everybody in chat
And
would
the
be
dude
like,
falls over.
everybody would chat be like, no, low roll, low roll.
Not this fight. We're gonna be here forever. Dude dies in 7 seconds.
7 seconds. 7 seconds. And then, do you remember when? Do you remember, or actually, I don't even know, Virum, because I'm trying to figure out like where your cutoff is. For you, when you got Praetorium,
I've never played the old Praetorium.
no,
Never played the old
Warchamp,
Praetorium.
no, we're
It's crazy.
old, bro. We're fucking.
There is something that I do remember that I now know is gone. What's it called? I think it was an ARR one where you're fighting ARR Heaven's Ward, where you're fighting this like dragon and he's just walking along.
Oh
And
yeah,
there's
the
those ads as well. Yeah, that's like the only
What the
old
fuck-
instance
what
I
the
remember.
Fuck is that? What do you-
The steps of faith. You used to like.
Yeah, that's it.
you were just walking down like the bridge underneath the gigantic dragon, and it just like marched. You had to like fight off mobs underneath it and shit. Did they like completely take it out of the game, or is it just a solo duty now? I feel like it's a solo duty.
I think it's a
It
solo
might-
duty now.
Yeah, it
'cause
might be a solo duty. Because I've definitely never played it since.
Okay,
I don't
Chico-
remember marching under a dragon, but I do remember like a big old fight on the bridge directly before Nidhogg. So, and the actual like final steps of faith trial.
I Fantasia'd. I did Fantasia. Okay, so my main is, so it is 4/4/2022. I remember I did Fantasia to a Lalafell for like the first half. I remember specifically the cutscene in which I was like, I can't do this anymore. It was the Shadowbringers cutscene where you go to I think it's like, which trial is it's like God, I need the order. I need the order because I'm trying to remember the cutscene right before it. Give me a second. God damn it.
Like the Order of Shadowbringer trials?
Yes. It was a specific cutscene that where are you?
So
Like-
in Shadowbringers, the order would have been Titania into, and then you've got the big
Innocence.
gap. Yeah, Innocence,
Yeah.
and then Hades, and then the post ones would have been the Ruby weapon, Seat of Sacrifice, Emerald weapon, and then Diamond
I
weapon.
remember. It was not a trial. You were right. Okay, it was not a trial. I queued for whole Mr. Switch. Okay? We did
Yeah, okay.
I did all of whole Mr. Switch as this Lalafell. Still Gunbreaker, by the way. It's like everything's the same.
Sure.
And then you do that, and then you go to, I can't remember if it's right before or right after, the really fucking dramatic scene where you're watching like that one girl turn into the light thing that you fight at the beginning of
Oh.
Whole Mr. Switch.
Oh, yeah,
Tesleen, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you remember how like dramatic they want you to look?
Yeah.
But then I just look like a fucking moron. I'm literally like here, like I think I still have the picture. I think it's an emote in my. It's I'll find the picture, but it's like a picture of me turning my head, and I'm using like the hair that you can highlight to have like a streak in it and have like a white streak in it, but it's like this hairless face, like this no hair in his face, Lalafell, and I was like, bruh, I can't take myself seriously. I can't do this. Yeah, I can't do this.
Oh.
I can't fucking do this. Like
That's honestly like one of my favorite things about Lalafels in this game is that their eyes are so expressive. It's like you can tell. And now my characters had a thick mustache, start to finish. You could never see his mouth, but I could tell you his exact emotion in every cutscene on his eyes alone because they are so big and they just put so much emphasis into them.
Jeez. Well, yeah. Okay, so we have where we started. I think as we're talking about it's a good game. We're also contextualizing. This is the first episode. So again, if you're watching, appreciate you, or if you're listening, also appreciate you. At some point we'll have ad reads. Probably not though, because whatever. I think it would be very funny, by the way, Warchamp, if we get ad reads before Japan time. I think that's very funny.
I think it'll happen.
I think.
I would not be surprised.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Teamcraft. Like it's just fucking. It's just that's so funny.
Right.
You know
There's
what?
so many sites.
We are not stopping the show. You hear me, the three of you, until we get ad reads before Japan time. We are like, I'm so serious. That would be so funny.
The how long we've been playing the game question is really interesting because I looked it up and I kind of shocked myself, but then I thought about it a little bit more and it's like I moved to Toronto, like it's coming up on 6 years now, and I was playing this game before that. So like that
when did I
that
meet
should
you?
have been a giveaway that I've been playing this game for a while. Tito, I want you to open this link and go look, and I want your earnest reaction to the date of my oldest achievement.
I love reactions. Hold on.
Sheesh!
Because I was surprised. I was surprised by that. I'm coming up on a decade of this game this year.
11/19/2014 is when you get Storyteller.
Well, hold on, wait.
You get Storyteller.
That's really funny.
No, you get Storyteller 2, which is not an achievement anymore.
Yeah.
You got it. How did you how does the list go Storyteller 2 then Storyteller?
I don't know, man.
No, because I actually know why. Because they reordered the achievements because here, when he got them, you would get them basically simultaneously.
Oh.
But us, we get Storyteller 1, then the game tells us to go look around the fucking shit, and then we get Storyteller 2. But the game didn't used to do that. The game used to just literally poop achievements into your mouth.
Ew. Why would you say that?
I mean, it did.
Oh, okay.
When did...
Oh, to answer your earlier question about when I finished Endwalker.
Yes.
That was just before Thanksgiving in 2023.
So you started in March?
11/18. Yeah. I started in March and then finished Endwalker in November of that year. But there were multiple times that I stopped.
Yeah.
I went and did other content.
Yeah. Well, I think weren't you by the time you finished Endwalker, weren't you already like close to Omni crafting?
Yes. Yeah. Yep, you would be correct.
That boy loves the firmament. That boy be living over there. That boy be living in fucking Ishgard, bro. That boy running the streets of Ishgard over there, boy. I tell you what.
I finished. Actually, I could probably tell you that too. Hold on. 11, 18. If I do.
Oh yeah, isn't that an achievement to get everything to 100 or max whatever?
Yeah. See, all disciplines. We're gonna be looking at
That's so funny.
something.
Yeah, so the original Shadowbringers trailer reveal was November 17th, 2018. I have achievements from 2014, and then there's a gigantic fucking gap, and my next one is November 18th, 2018.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
The day after I saw that trailer, I hopped back on the game. I'm just like, I gotta play this shit again.
2020, I remember specifically because I had just started a new job, the job I currently have. So I actually had stopped teaching. And I was like, I have all this free time because I'm not teaching. And more importantly, Smash Bros. Sucks now. I don't want to play it anymore. What am I doing? And so I was like, well, maybe I'll try this game. This game seems fun. I want to cook, and I don't want to play WoW because WoW looks ugly to me. So I was like, okay. And I guess the next, I mean, okay, so we're talking about playtime. We're talking about whether or not it's a good game or not. I guess this also is a good time to talk about, like, what kind of content do you play mainly? Like, we're gonna do a whole other episode about why people play Final Fantasy 14, because like I really want to talk about this not only with this group, but I want to see like what our friends say. But like for me, like the thing that I enjoy the like, if there was an MMO that was as good but a different IP, I would be playing that as well. Like, I don't necessarily, like, I don't have any Final Fantasy ties. Like, I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't know about anybody else. I don't really have Final Fantasy, like, that thing. Like, if this was yeah, I know, Mike, I know you do.
I'm deep.
But if this was an original IP, or if this, for me, or if this was a, I don't know, whatever, like, pick a thing. Like, that's why I play Guild Wars. Like, is there a specific type of content that really draws you to the game, like, and putting all this time in?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's kind of a running joke in my one circle of friends that like this is the only mainline FF game I've ever played.
That's true.
Like ever. I've played Crystal Chronicles. I've played Tactics Advance, but like mainline FF titles, 14 is the only one I've played. I like played a meaningful amount of. I like started 16 and I got like 2 hours in or something. But yeah, I've never played like a mainline FF game. I love kind of the FF like concepts. I guess is a good way to put it, because I certainly don't really like the like modern fantasy realism that it goes for a lot of the time. I'm actually not really a huge fan of that, and it was one of the things that turned me off of the game in the first place was like the realism fantasy aesthetic that the game has.
Yeah.
Because I grew up on Blizzard games, which is like super exaggerated, like
high
cartoonish
fantasy,
proportions, high fantasy, high contrast, high saturation, like bright colors, and like FF14 is very much kind of like the opposite of that. It's like science fiction, low fantasy, like realism kind of aesthetic. Like I used to hate how dragons look in this game. I used to hate it because it's just so different from like the high fantasy dragon ideas. So like I have no attachment to like kind of the FF aspect of the game, but the game itself I just love.
Yeah, I love the game. I love the game more than like I love the game more than what the game is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know Mike is a fiend for FF shit. Like I know he
I grew
tricks
up on
it.
I do. I grew up on it.
Hey, yo.
First was my was FF7, I played that when I was like 8 or 9 years old. It's 10 when I got a hold of 8. Played 10, 12, 10-2's in there somewhere, the entire 13 trilogy, 15, and then I came here. Yeah. Some of my favorite bits of this game is actually seeing references to other games.
Mhm.
Like
A lot of people say that. A lot
yeah.
of people say that.
Like the Omega raid line, that was a treat. That was great. Like the first 8, fantastic.
Still haven't finished that.
Dude, like
I have the quest right now. I
right
still
there
haven't
at
finished
the
it.
end. Like
I haven't finished it.
you're at like people Omega. Like go finish that.
The quest is sitting there looking at me.
You're like at Omega's a dude the fight.
Yeah, actually, I am.
Yeah, I know. I've watched you float around in the cutscene.
I'll unsync it.
I mean, sure, if you want to.
I think my experience of this game has definitely been like enhanced by the fact that I have friends who play it that have like, you know, played the shit out of other mainline FF games and can like point out those parallels and like those like references and stuff.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Because like I don't catch them because I don't know.
Yeah, having friends that play this really helped me. I told Tito earlier, like if he hadn't been like, hey, you want to play FF14, I'd have never picked this game up. Never. Not once. I actually just made it. I was just like, no, I can't really get into an MMO, like, because all of my entire friend group is WoWheads, and I was like, I don't really like that, so I'm just gonna kind of stray away from MMOs. But now that I got people to play, like that brings me back. That brings me in there more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the social aspect's definitely a big deal. I probably wouldn't have started either if it weren't for a couple of my friends who've been playing. I'm similar to Tito and Warchamp in that, like, I didn't really have that much attachment to FF prior. Literally, I think the only FF mainline game that I'd played through
Was Kingdom Hearts
prior to, I've never played Kingdom Hearts.
That's a mainline Final Fantasy game, right?
But I've never played it. I was gonna say Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was the only one that I've played prior to playing.
I did play Remake.
That's a good one.
But yeah, I just think for me, a lot of it comes down to how much I enjoy a lot of the gameplay content, even the normal content. Like, I just every time I encounter like a new dungeon or a new trial, just going through that, and like I'm always kind of more than happy to just go through my dailies, grind up my classes, just getting that kind of lots of little bits and pieces of extrinsic satisfaction and rewards.
I want to see the numbers go up.
Exactly.
Give me the EXP numbers, please.
I mean, I think this. I mean, we kind of all agree it is a good game, but I'm sure when we talk about specifics, we will all have varied opinions. Which is part of it. This for people listening, this is probably the most tame episode you're ever going to hear of the show. Because after this, we're going to start talking about that bullshit. Like I don't know. It's just next episode is actually going to be on Dawn Trail. Like we already know that's the next episode. So I do think we're going to probably take the first 30 seconds, and I'm going to edit it so that way Warchamp and I can just accept rewards about how right we were. Because Warchamp and I were exactly right. We were exactly right. So, Yoshi P, hit us up. We can write your game now. You're good. You can take a break, bro. We got you. Yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and call for episode 1 there. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to us on Spotify at the Light Party Podcast. Also subscribe on YouTube at Light Party Podcast and follow us on Twitter at _pod. We'll start. Virum, go ahead. Your socials, brother.
You can find me on Twitter at Virum_FG. Most other places, namely Twitch and Instagram, at Virum_SD. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you can also find me probably commentating some kind of Grand Blue event.
Woo! Mike.
What? Oh. I'm everywhere as at Mega Buzzbuzz. If I'm not on that site, then I'm not on that site.
Branding.
Branding. I have the same name everywhere. I'm mostly on Twitter. I share pictures of the onion all the time. So follow me for onion pics.
For
Warchamp.
free?
For
Yeah,
free.
free onion pics.
They're free onion pics.
That's crazy. You can find me here, there, everywhere, all around the internet at Warchamp7. Check me out and find out what I'm up to, any of the projects I'm working, the handy tools that I've made at warch.mp.
And you can find me everywhere at Tito KMF. That's Tito KMF. This has been the Light Party Podcast, episode 1. Yeah, man, FF14 is a good game. So, but now we're gonna spend the next. We'll see. We'll see by the end of this podcast. Our goal is to get an ad read before Japan time. That's really all it is. So, it probably won't be that difficult. All right. Well, until the weekly reset next week, we will see you guys next week. Have fun. Goodbye.
Bye.